Welcome to School Matters. I'm Shawn Gilliland. In this edition of the show, we'll meet the man behind the voice of Family Guy's Cleveland Brown, find out who took home top prize at this year's district spelling bee, and enjoy a selection from the All-County High School Orchestra. All that and much more on this edition of the show. On any given night here in Henrico, you'll find excitement in our gyms, two teams battling for a win, and groups of cheerleaders motivating their players and fans. Recently at Hermitage High School, there was another team giving it their all. It was the students from Herm-TV. They were the camera operators, the commentators, and the crew for live coverage of the games.
Will Godwin wins the tip, and right in offense they'll go.
We got the exciting chance to live stream our basketball game of Hermitage versus Godwin.
And there was two of them. It was girls varsity and boys varsity.
Hermitage down low in the land of the trees. That ball's gonna be knocked out. Oh, but another offensive rebound, and Jones connects from three.
The first time Herm-TV got to do that with HCPS TV.
Again, Zach and Sanaya joining me for...
I was at the table with Will.
Guys, what were your impressions of the first half? Charles, start with you.
My first impression was just so physical.
We were working with the cameras.
I was a cameraman.
And slow-mo machine. My job was to be a soundline reporter.
It was their first championship since the 2005 season.
I was a sideline reporter.
True story. Back to Will.
It was great. It was a wonderful experience for all of us. We were taught how to work the cameras, film the action shots, and get wide and tight shots. And
He would be like, "Oh, your camera's on air. You're hot right now, so that means you're like being broadcasted."
Zooming in and trying to get the best footage of the players going up and down the court, making baskets, just filming everyone's reactions.
It's live and like you gotta really you can't really mess up. There's not much room for error when you're on the television.
the concept was pretty easy to grasp. It's just the execution is the hardest part, mainly because you're working with a lot of heavy equipment and it can get very tiresome toward the ends of a quarter, a game.
The shooting part with the camera, that was easy, but like the slow motion, that was kind of hard because you had to click like 5 different buttons and you had to do it in like a certain amount of time.
That pass too high for Darius Jones. Here's the 3 ball that you thought might have gotten Hermitage to wake up a little bit.
For the slow-mo machine, I couldn't get it as quick as possible for the first time. But as I kept doing it, I became better at it.
Here's the 3 raining from deep. Herm has 1. Godwin says, "We'll see you 1," and raise you another.
But I became the queen of the slow-mo machines.
I like the experience, and then just seeing all the live action happening. And then we had the monitor on the side, so then we could look at that and see what the people were seeing, so then we can react to what they were seeing. I think we did a really good job putting our, what we felt we were gonna say in.
Just coming back from the timeout and the pressure is on.
It was hard in the fact that, you kind of gotta just always come up with something to say on the fly. And, being like it's your first time, you kind of don't know how it is, but you do, if you watch sports and stuff. I just had a really fun experience.
Looks more like straight up man-to-man defense and a turnover. And
Mayor Jackson with the Butterfingers.
a costly turnover there.
I interviewed the coach for Godwin, Coach Bettis, after the game.
Coach Bettis, how do you feel about your team's performance tonight?
I thought we played a pretty good first half when we came out and kept
he is taller than me.
I'm here with Coach Oliver from Godwin High School. Coach, tonight's game.
Alan Pritchard, the girls basketball coach, has 250 wins.
And when you get in front of the camera, make sure you're smiling or not doing anything crazy because it might just come on to you. And
go for it, Tatiana.
Thanks, Will. Hermitage High School basketball team.
We have with us the Bruce Bowen with one of our reporters down at the sideline. I think it's Carlton, right? Yeah, Carlton Smith. Hey, man, you hear me?
Talk to him, Carlton.
Carlton, put down the lip balm. There you go. Give it to
Thanks, Will. We're here in the Bruce Bowen Gymnasium with the Bruce Bowen.
Oh, okay, it was hard because the people behind the camera, if they're not prepared, then you're not prepared, with my chapstick shot. And I don't know.
It's easy and hard. You just have to be prepared. You have to be prepared.
So what adjustments do you think your team needs for the second half?
We just had to attack the zone.
Actually getting ready to go on air, I was like super excited. So I was just worried about me calming myself down, like to rein myself in so I won't be just all over the place.
I did get nervous. I was nervous. Like I was shaking like this the whole time on camera.
The entire day, I wasn't nervous at all, but then right when the camera got in my face, I started to shake a little bit.
I loved it.
I just had a really fun experience.
I would do it again. Yeah.
Me personally, I want to do TV. I want to be in a movie and stuff like that. I love acting, so this is just a good chance for me to push myself and do something that I would actually really love to do. Alrighty, there you have it, folks. Now back to you, Will.
Well, guys, appreciate you being part of the program. Appreciate you adding a little something to this. And that's enough for our night. Hope you enjoyed it. It's been fun.
What an amazing job by the Herm-TV crew and the TV services team who made this all possible. A week after this game, the HCPS TV crew did a second game with the students from the Center for Communications and Media Relations at Varina High School. Basketball shoes were squeaking on the high school hardwood, but over at Gayton Elementary, shoes were being collected for a special cause. It's time to find out how the Gators were putting their best foot forward.
We had a fantastic author, the original author of Pete the Cat, Eric Litwin, come to visit. So we wanted to involve our students a little bit, and we focused on quality character and global citizen of the Henrico Learner Profile by getting together some gently used shoes or new shoes to donate to those who are in need. And then we also started a design challenge in the cafeteria.
I think it's important that people who do not have shoes, it's good that they can get it through donations, especially since it's winter, it's really cold and they might not have shoes. We made signs and posters, and we made a bunch of shoes everywhere.
Yeah, every classroom designed their own shoes, and we stuck them up on the wall to really show that we're encouraging donating shoes.
At lunch, after they finish eating, they are working on a design challenge where they are creating a shoe, any type of shoe, that will make the world a better place.
It came up because the author of Pete the Cat, who was Eric Litwin, came to our school, and one of the book studies that he wrote is Pete the Cat Rocking in My School Shoes.
The shoe challenge was to create a shoe that had a superpower to help make the world a better place.
It was a little bit hard, but we came up with some ideas.
Once you started to get it, then it got easier.
My shoe is a food shoe. It gives food to poor people who can't afford it.
My shoe is a shoe that waters plants. My shoe is a shoe that has lightning speed, so it can bring people who are hurt or injured to the hospital or doctor.
As the school counselor, I am always focused on the quality character, and I want our students to grow up to be happy and productive and kind students. So this is just one way for them to think about different ways and unique ways to give back to the community.
Now for another 60-second history report.
When you think of cities in America where the fight for freedom began, does Montgomery, Alabama make your list? It should. That's because it was there that a woman took a stand by staying seated. After the Civil War, many southern states had Jim Crow laws. These were rules about racial segregation for restaurants, restrooms, even buses. One December day in 1955, an African-American woman named Rosa Parks was told by a bus driver to move so a white man could have her seat. When she refused, he called the police. Soon after, churches from all over the area told their congregations not to ride the bus anymore as a form of protest. This growing bus boycott needed a leader, so a young preacher named Martin Luther King was elected to head up the cause. King argued that segregation on buses was wrong, but urged everyone to keep their protest peaceful, a philosophy he learned from his hero, Mahatma Gandhi. For 382 days, the African-American citizens of Montgomery stayed off the buses, until the Supreme Court declared that Mrs. Parks and Dr. King were right. This event helped pave the way for the other peaceful protests, the elimination of Jim Crow laws, and introduced the nation to Martin Luther King, one of history's greatest champions for civil rights. So, here it is in a nutshell. Rosa Parks kept her seat, a young preacher shared the heat. Folks went walking, the court was talking, and Jim Crow was finally beat.
That's Rosa Parks in 60 seconds.
Welcome back to School Matters. Each year, our elementary and middle school students battle it out to be the top speller in the county. Let me introduce you to this year's HCPS Spelling Bee champion.
Your word is heartsick. Heartsick.
Heartsick. H-E-A exclamation. E-X-C excruciating. E-X-C.
My name is Vishnoy Vadakancheri. I go to Moody Middle School and I'm in 8th grade.
Yes, that is correct.
I won the Henrico County Divisional Spelling Bee.
That was quite impressive.
Yeah.
Your word is piccolo. Piccolo.
Definition, please.
I didn't study before this year, and then this year my parents were like, oh, you should try for that, so I decided to try.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Did you surprise yourself, or were you?
Yeah, I didn't think I would win.
Your word is macrame.
Macrame.
I studied like lists of challenging words and listened to like past spelling bees.
Fringe made by knotting threads or cords in geometrical patterns. Macrame.
Yeah, there were a lot of words that were on the lists that was also in the spelling bee, and that helped a lot.
Your word is verisimilitude. Verisimilitude.
Verisimilitude?
Verisimilitude.
Verisimilitude.
I was like, is that even a word at first? And then I was just trying to think of like roots and stuff that I knew.
Verisimilitude. V-E-R-I-S-I-M-I-L-I-T-U-D-E. Verisimilitude.
Yes, that is correct. Thank you.
I was surprised that I got verisimilitude right, because that's a difficult word.
Your word is viscount. Viscount is kielbasa. Kielbasa. Your word is animadversion. Your word is domiciliated. Domiciliated.
Domiciliated. Domiciliated.
Domiciliated.
Well, I've heard the word domicile before and like the definition and that kind of thing. It was getting acquainted with a new house. So like I was just thinking of like that.
C-I-L-I-A-T-E-D. Domiciliated.
That is correct.
I didn't know what, like, at first I kind of walked off the stage, like in the video you can see I walked off because I thought I had to spell another word or like we had to come back. And then the announcer said that I won and I was like, oh my God, I actually won, it's over. And I was just really happy too. I go on March 9th to the regional spelling bee that's hosted by Richmond Times-Dispatch. The words are a lot more challenging and complicated, and most of them are words I've never heard before, but I'm trying to like teach myself to understand like the concepts and the parts of the word so I can think of how to spell it and that kind of thing. Practice makes perfect.
Congratulations, Vishnoy. We'll be rooting for you in the Regional Bee in March. Team Excel students at Varina and Henrico High Schools enjoyed a visit from a very special guest.
My name is Cleveland Brown, and I am proud to be right back in my hometown with my family. There's old friends and new friends and even a bear. Through good times and bad times, it's true love we share. And so I found a place where everyone will know my happy mustache face. This is the Cleveland Show.
I'm Mike Henry. I'm on Family Guy. I had a show called The Cleveland Show. I do a bunch of voices on Family Guy. They're Cleveland. I do Herbert the Old Man.
Oh, come on now. Come on now. Look it up.
I wish somebody had come and talked to me when I was y'all's age, just sort of about the world and a little bit about life. If I had somebody coming and talking to me back then saying, just be who you are, you know, just, it's okay. Everybody's got their problems. It doesn't matter if you're rich, you're poor, your parents are together, somebody's abusive, there's, whatever. Everybody's bringing something, okay? So that's what I want to point out. So I did whatever I could just to keep going while I figured out who I was. I knew I was funny, and I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to be a movie star, whatever. And so I was doing my thing, and it was hard. I had been doing this for 8 years. So it was 8 years since I left to go do comedy. So I did my math, and I put in my 10,000 hours, which is about what it takes to be an expert at something. And so I was an expert when I got my at-bat in the big leagues, and I crushed it.
Along with inspiring words, Henry also shared how he created the character of Cleveland Brown.
I came back here to finish editing the short films, and I'm playing basketball with this guy over at Thompson Street Park. He was, yeah, he's from Maryland. Yeah, I'm from Maryland. Just kind of laid back guy. I was just like, I love this guy. I was like, he just kept talking. Yeah, that guy over there, yeah, he ain't got no left hand. You make him go left, he's gonna pass, or he's gonna miss. And so I was just like, I love this guy. So I just started sort of imitating this guy. And then I went back to LA at the time when we're figuring out, all right, who's Peter Griffin's friend's gonna be? And so, well, what if he had a guy that talked like this? And people were like, yeah, keep talking. And so Cleveland was born right there. Cleveland is just a character I created out of love and comedy, and it's grown and changed me. And I don't know what else to say.
Mike Henry has been a friend and supporter of Team XL for several years. The rivalry on the basketball courts between the Godwin Eagles and the Freeman Rebels has a 37-year history. Thanks to a Partners in Leading grant, Rivals Unite for Change is hoping that this competitive energy can be harnessed and utilized to create a positive, sustainable impact in the week leading up to the big game.
Good morning, Freeman Rebels. My name is Mrs. Donovan. I'm the principal at Godwin, but I've switched with Mr. May for the day in partnership with our Rivals Unite for Change this week.
The work persists, even though we're not in the building, so the work does persist. It's great being at Godwin High School. It's very similar to Freeman in many ways, and it isn't.
How are y'all doing? I love the smiling faces. Some people are not smiling. That's okay. They're still asleep. I'm going to go visit classrooms. I'm going to be on lunch duty. I'm going to walk around and find out a little bit about what Freeman does that's different than Godwin. I'm the principal at Godwin. Mr. May is at Godwin today. And I'm here. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, so we switched places. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good thing, so that you get to meet more people.
Yeah.
It's great meeting the kids. Kids are great. Kids are wonderful. Very warm. Staff is very warm. I think there's been a cycle of folks that have come through. You guys all know each other. Isn't that crazy? I think we say we have a big rivalry. Oh yeah. You think?
So I'm not sure the exact number, but we're having students and teachers here today as the switch.
Welcome, Godwin. Thank you for coming. So I'm Quinn. I'm hosting Sam. I'm Curry. I'm hosting Anthony. I was like, Allie. I'm Allie.
Students from Freeman are going to Godwin tomorrow for a workshop together, the Godwin and Freeman students. So it'll be great.
In education, we really are a small world, and so it's good to catch up with a lot of friends that I've worked with through the years and at different schools, and so they've come by too. Yes, but you're a grown-up young man. I know. How about that? Because I saw your name. Yeah. Good.
Tonight we have a Chipotle fundraiser for our Eagle Family Fund, and Freeman's doing one for the Freeman Fund. And then of course at the end of the week we have our big rival basketball game. So we'll see if it's really go Rebels or go Eagles.
Go Eagles.
Go Rebels!
For today, go Eagles.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Classroom and set them up as stations.
Think back to elementary school where you did spelling.
No other profession out there like that.
Over 100 students in the Teachers for Tomorrow program were at a special conference called Leaders Are Readers. Guest speaker Principal Ryan Stein explained how they personalize teaching at Greenwood Elementary School.
So our theme at our school is every single adult has to connect with a child. Not one child goes 66 hours without us telling them we love them. We see you, find you, we high five you, all right? Mondays are hands down the greatest day, and it's because of this theme right here.
Eric Litwin, author of Pete the Cat and other books, demonstrated methods and techniques to get children involved with reading.
Future teachers, learning and learning to read needs to be interactive, engaging, and deeply personal and joyful. And future teachers, learning to read is like making pancakes. You have to have your reading ingredient.
There were breakout sessions with HCPS librarians, authors Kathy and Richard Verlander.
A lot of them, school turns out to be their safe place. So we think if we can use this little book, this little story.
Literacy specialist Catherine Stark
that a lot of our kids are missing.
And Chris Holloman from Libby Mill Library concluded his session with the students making a fun promise to their future students.
I swear to be the most effective teacher I can be. And to teach with passion. And to inspire children to read. From this day to the ending of the world.
The event was sponsored by the Henrico Education Foundation and took place at West Rock Packaging Solutions. What a fantastic event that will definitely inspire those students in years to come. Researching information and doing presentations can be an important part of student success. Over at Tucker High School, the International Baccalaureate students really focus on those skills. You can see it with their IB Showcase, where students studied a topic with personal meaning and showed how their research evolved over time.
The lighting of the semester matter.
So what I did was, for my personal project, I chose to interview United States servicemen.
So my project is a IoT project, an Internet of Things platform.
I created a 6-week art program as an enrichment thing for a local summer camp. I love to work with kids and I have a passion for art, so I decided to just put my two passions together.
And it stores that student profile in a database.
The teacher I was assigned,
I feel like I developed my characters.
My project was predictions and analysis of the 2018 World Cup.
I pretty much learned an advanced technique of playing the guitar, and it's essentially plucking the strings rather than strumming it.
I mean, that was one of my big problems.
I really like looking at different designs of houses.
It's the IB context of relationships.
Improve my equine photography.
Recreating famous World Cup goals.
I chose to learn how to play field hockey.
So to showcase this, I made a progression video.
I basically made electronic music using a launchpad and a software on the computer called Ableton.
So my project is a mathematical app that I created that's kind of similar to, like, I guess, Khan Academy in a way.
40 feet. Instruments interact with each other.
I took a 2-week course on how to lifeguard, and then for another month or so, I shadowed a real lifeguard at my pool.
I also added a forum in it so other girls can speak to each other.
Wait, where's the...
Tucker isn't the only high school with an international baccalaureate program. Henrico High School also offers IB. You can check with your school's guidance counselor for more information on those programs and other specialty centers offered in Henrico County Schools. We're going to close the show with a selection from the All-County High School Orchestra concert under the direction of guest conductor Paul Kim. The orchestra students performed America's Cup. You can catch the entire middle school and high school All-County Orchestra concert on HCPS TV. For School Matters, I'm Sean Gilliland. Thanks for watching.